come to order, please. Roll call, press your present button, please. Hell. We're all absent tonight, guys. You plugged up out there?
Hit the arrow. I guess.
Well.
I got a line on.
There.
Nobody's home. Nothing else home?
Pete.
Record it.
Pete.
Yep, he's here.
Pete's here. Thank you. Staff announcements.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, a couple of announcements. First of all, we do have a couple of withdrawals. Item 14, which, if I can read through this, is Bumblebee Farms. And item 18,
That's Bumblebee Farm.
no, I beg your pardon, that was item 18 is Bumblebee Farms, and item 14, Swanson's Ridge. Sorry about that. We do have a revised attachment before you on the dais for item 15, and we would like to have consideration of a non-agenda item regarding Lookaway subdivision. The background is that this plat was approved at last month's meeting. Since that time, the utility company has asked that we revise the bond amounts for off and on-site water, and we believe that we hope that you consider hearing it tonight.
Without objection, we'll do that as agenda item 22, last. Anyone? None? Good deal. Anything else, Joe?
No, sir.
Consideration of the minutes of February 19. Any corrections, changes? Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Prepare to vote. Vote now. Record it. Motion carries. Thank you. Consideration of the consent agenda. Any commissioner wishing to hear an item as a separate item, please say so now, otherwise we'll take it as a whole. Anyone? Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We'll begin with item 3, Arrington Retreat, Section 2, Maintenance Bond for Roads, Drainage, and Erosion Control, $225,000. Recommendation, extended current amount for a period of 1 year. Item 4, Clovercroft Preserve, Section 1, Performance Bond for Water, $24,750. Recommendation, convert to maintenance in the amount of $3,712.50 until April 16, 2018. Number 5, Clovercroft Reserve, Section 1, Performance Bond for Landscaping, $98,560. Recommendation, convert to maintenance in the amount of $29,600 for a period of 6 months. Item 6, Clovercroft Preserve, Section 1, Performance Bond for Wastewater Collection System, $150,000. Recommendation, extend in current amount for a period of 1 year. Item 7, Clovercroft Preserve, Section 1, Performance Bond for Roads, Drainage, and Erosion Control, $490,000. Recommendation, extend in current amount for a period of 1 year. Item 8, Delta Springs, Maintenance Bond for Roads, Drainage, and Erosion Control, $125,000. Recommendation, extend in current amount for a period of 1 year. Item 9, Hideaway at Arrington, Section 1, Maintenance Bond for Landscaping, $68,277. Recommendation, release the bond. Item 10, Hillsborough Cove, Maintenance Bond for Roads, Drainage, and Erosion Control, $185,000. Recommendation, extend in current amount for a period of 1 year. Item 11, Kings Chapel, Section 3B, Maintenance Bond for Roads, Drainage, and Erosion Control, $100,000. Recommendation, extend in current amount for a period of 1 year. Item 12, Silverstream Farm, Section 4E, Maintenance Bond for Sewer, $25,000. Recommendation, release the bond. And item 13, The Grove, Section 6, Maintenance Bond for Landscaping, $29,640. Recommendation, release the bond.
Motion on consent. Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Prepare to vote. Vote now. Record it. Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 14 is withdrawn. Agenda item 15, under non-residential site plans, the non-residential site plan review for South Creek Rural Retreat, non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system on 235 acres located off Carter's Creek Pike in the 11th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The applicant is requesting site plan approval for a non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system in the Municipal Growth Area 1 zoning district. The proposed system will serve a rural retreat extensive use that is planned for the property. Rural retreat extensive uses are permitted in the MGA 1 zoning district as a special use, which is reviewed by the Board of Zoning Appeals. County zoning ordinance requires a site plan for a proposed non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system to be approved before the special use can be reviewed by the BZA. As the use is located within the City of Franklin's urban growth boundary, the site plan has been shared with the city. At the time of this writing, no comments from the city have been received. The subject property is approximately 235 acres in size and is located on the south side of Carter's Creek Pike at its intersection with South Hall Road. Mile End Road borders the property to the west. The property is relatively flat, although portions of the site are covered by natural resources, including streams, woodlands, and steep slopes. Approximately 40% of the site is covered in tree canopy. The proposed system will utilize an advanced treatment system technology to treat wastewater generated by the proposed rural retreat. The treatment system will be located near the eastern boundary of the site, 300 feet from the adjoining property, which meets the minimum setback requirement. The Tennessee Regulatory Authority has indicated a certificate of convenience and necessity is not necessary for this use. A design development report and detailed soils investigation report were prepared by the applicant and submitted to the county. County's wastewater consultant has reviewed these reports and is recommending approval of the proposed site plan. A conceptual layout for the proposed rural retreat is shown on the site plan and is provided for illustrative purposes only. The use has not been reviewed for compliance with applicable regulations. It is staff's opinion that the combination of distance, topography, existing vegetation, and proposed vegetation will serve to adequately screen the treatment system from adjacent properties. The site plan is in order and staff recommends approval. Prior to the issuance of a certificate of occupancy for the proposed rural retreat extensive use, a zoning certificate must be obtained for the completed treatment and disposal system. Prior to issuance of the zoning certificate, the applicant shall provide the following. Number 1, a letter from TDEC indicating that said system was installed and is functioning. Number 2, as-built drawings showing the location of all system components and a sealed certification letter from the design engineer indicating that said system was constructed in accordance with the approved construction plans and specifications. Number 3, a letter from the owner/utility provider indicating that it has accepted said system and is currently operating same. Number 4, the posting of a performance bond for the wastewater treatment and disposal system in the amount of $124,700 for said system as specified by the county's wastewater consultant. Number 5, the posting of a performance bond for the wastewater collection system in the amount of $409,000 for said system as specified by the county's wastewater consultant. And number 6, the posting of a performance bond in the amount of $29,645 for landscaping improvements.
Thank you, sir. Is the applicant here?
The applicant is present, sir.
You wish to make a comment, sir? You don't have to. That's up to you. I'm giving you the opportunity. Thank you. Questions of staff? Comments? Mr. Cohan?
Yeah, the question I have is what comes up with most of these is there no other place for the system than right on the border?
Staff?
That would be a question I would defer to the applicant, sir.
You are going to need to come to the podium.
Hi there, Preston Air with T-Square Engineering. And your question was to the location of the system?
Yes.
We are showing the system to be 375 feet from the adjacent property line, which exceeds the minimum 300 foot.
I understand that. My question is there's no place internal that system could be set rather than by the property line?
We placed it as close to the proposed septic fields as we could to ensure the efficiency of the system.
Is it impacting the neighbors more than it's impacting you?
No, sir, it's not impacting the neighbors.
That wasn't my question. My question is, does the siting of the system impact the neighbors more than it impacts your development?
No, I don't believe it impacts.
Don, anything else?
No, sir, thank you.
Anyone else? Comments? Questions? Thoughts? Per staff's recommendations? Thank you. Was there a second? Brian? Thank you. Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Prepare to vote. Vote now. Recorded. Motion carries. Thank you. That was agenda item 15. Agenda item 16, non-residential site plan review for Cox Lad Treatment Facility for Arrington Ridge, non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system on 128 acres located off Cox Road in the 5th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The applicant is requesting site plan approval for a proposed non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system in the RD1 zoning district. The proposed system will serve a residential subdivision that is planned for the property in an adjacent parcel, which is located on the north side of I-840. The county's zoning ordinance requires a site plan for the proposed non-traditional wastewater treatment and disposal system to be approved before a concept plan for the use of the system will serve may be approved. The subject properties total approximately 128 acres and are bisected by Interstate 840. The wastewater system will occupy 11.02 acres of the property. The property where the wastewater treatment system will be located is relatively flat, although portions of the site are covered by natural resources, including wetlands, streams, flood zones, and woodlands. Approximately 10% of the site is covered in tree canopy. The proposed system will utilize recirculating sand filter technology to treat wastewater generated by the proposed subdivision. The treatment system will be located toward the southern boundary of the site, 300 feet from the adjoining property, which meets the minimum setback requirement. A certificate of convenience and necessity has been approved by the Tennessee Regulatory Authority. A design development report and a detailed soils investigation report were prepared by the applicant and submitted to the county. The county's wastewater consultant has reviewed these reports and is recommending approval of the proposed site plan. A conceptual layout for the proposed subdivision, which depicts 88 lots, has been included as Sheet 2 of the site plan packet. This conceptual layout is provided for illustrative purposes only and has not been reviewed for compliance with applicable regulations. It is staff's opinion that the combination of distance, topography, existing vegetation, and proposed vegetation will serve to adequately screen the treatment system from the adjacent properties. This site plan is in order and staff recommends approval. Prior to final plat submittal for the first section of the proposed subdivision, a zoning certificate must be obtained for the completed treatment and disposal system. Prior to the issuance of the zoning certificate, the applicant shall provide the following. Number 1, a letter from TDEC indicating that said system is installed and is functioning. Number 2, as-built drawings showing the system of all system components and a sealed certification letter from the design engineer indicating that said system was constructed in accordance with the approved construction plans and specifications. Number 3, a letter from the owner and utility provider indicating that it has been accepted, said system, and is currently operating same. Number 4, the posting of a performance bond in the amount of $120,000 for said system as specified by the county's wastewater consultant. And number 5, the posting of a performance bond in the amount of $50,600 for landscaping improvements.
Thank you, ma'am. Questions of staff? The applicant here. You want to make a comment, sir?
No comment. I'm Jamie Reed with SEC. I'll answer any questions that y'all may have.
Okay, thank you. Questions of the applicant or of staff? Anyone? Apparently not. Is there a motion? Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Prepare to vote. Record it. Motion carries. Thank you. Item 17, under preliminary plats, preliminary plat review for Burning Tree Farms, AKA Brick Church Farms, containing 18 lots on 27 acres located off Knowlesville Road in the 5th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A concept plan for this development was approved by this body at the November 2016 meeting. The applicant is now requesting preliminary plat approval for this 18-lot subdivision, which contains 18 lots and approximately 7 acres of open space. The plat is consistent in layout with the concept plan. The Department of Sewage Disposal Management has reviewed and approved the request. Staff recommends approval of the preliminary plat. In conjunction with the final plat consideration, the following items must be addressed. Number 1, prior to consideration of final plat approval, the applicant shall submit HOA documents for review and approval by the County Attorney's Office. The approved HOA documents must be recorded concurrently with the recording of the final plat. Number 2, establishment of a performance bonds for roads, drainage, and erosion control. Number 3, establishment of a performance bond for water improvements in favor of Nolensville College Grove Utility District. Number 4, submission of landscaping plans and establishment of a performance bond for landscaping. Number 5, dedication of right-of-way 60 feet off the center line of Nolensville Road. Number 6, execution of a stormwater maintenance and agreement plan and submission of an operation and maintenance plan for stormwater improvement. And number 7, submission of the approved final plat in DWG format on recordable media based on the Tennessee State Plan Coordinate System prior to signature and recording of the plat.
Thank you, Aaron. Questions of staff? Comments? Applicant here? You want to make a comment, sir? Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Prepare to vote. Vote now. Record it. Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 18 is withdrawn. Agenda item 19, final plat review for Natchez Ridge large lot easement subdivision containing 5 lots on 31 acres located off of New Highway 96 West in the 9th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The property in question is approximately 31 acres in size and is located on New Highway 96 West, approximately 1/3 mile from Dora Whitley Road. The applicant is requesting approval of a large lot easement subdivision in order to create 5 lots off a 50-foot ingress-egress utilities easement. The topography of the site is quite steep with 2 hilltops and steep slopes leading up to them. The site is also heavily wooded. All zoning ordinance requirements, including those related to the protection of natural resources, have been met. The applicant is proposing individual septic systems for the lots, and the Williamson County Department of Sewage Disposal Management has approved the request. Water will be provided by the HB and TS Utility District. As no fire hydrants are proposed, and as none are currently located within 500 feet of the building envelopes, the building envelopes have been separated by 200 feet. The plat is in order, and pending confirmation that the proposed driveway location is acceptable to TDOT prior to meeting date, staff recommends approval subject to the following. A notice of coverage issued by TDEC will be required prior to the signing of the plat. Number 2, a land disturbance permit must be obtained for the overall development. And number 3, driveway and drainage infrastructure must be complete prior to issuance of building permits. And Mr. Chairman, the TDOT has provided confirmation that the proposed driveway location is acceptable.
Thank you, sir. Questions of staff? Don?
Was there any need to contact the Natchez Trace Parkway people on this?
They had already granted an easement across their area, and a variance was granted by the Board of Zoning Appeals for the easement width across the trace.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone? No further discussion? Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Prepare to vote. Vote now. Record it. Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 20, final plat review for the Hunter K property, large lot easement subdivision. Third lot off of an easement containing one lot on 59 acres located off of Fire Tower Road in the 9th voting district. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The property in question is approximately 7 acres in size and is located off Fire Tower Road, adjacent to the Natchez Trace Parkway, and is approximately 1 mile from Big East Fork Road. The applicant is requesting approval of a large lot easement subdivision in order to create the third lot off an existing ingress-egress utilities easement. A variance to the easement width for the existing portion of the easement was granted by the Williamson County Board of Zoning Appeals on April 24, 2014. The site slopes generally upward from the northwest to the southeast. The site is also heavily wooded. All zoning ordinance requirements, including those related to the protection of natural resources, have been met. The applicant is proposing an individual septic system for the lot, and the Williamson County Department of Sewage Disposal Management has approved the request. Public water is not available, and therefore water will be provided by a well on the lot. As no fire hydrants are proposed, and as none are currently located within 500 feet of the building envelope, the building envelope has been located at least 200 feet from all surrounding building envelopes and dwellings. The plat is in order, and staff recommends approval.
Sir? Questions of staff? Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Prepare to vote. Vote now. Record it. Whoa. My bad. Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item 21, final plat review for the Grove, Section 9, containing 41 lots on 23 acres located off Arnold Road in the 2nd voting district. Staff?
The applicant is requesting that this item be deferred until the next Planning Commission meeting, and accordingly, staff recommends deferral of the item until the April 2017 meeting.
Deferral?
Yes.
We need a motion to that?
Yes.
Do I hear one? Is there a second? Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Prepare to vote. Vote now. Record it. Dwight? Brian? Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda 22, final to the non-agenda item, Lookaway Farms performance bond for water improvements. Staff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As Mr. Horn said in the announcements, prior to posting the off-site and on-site water bonds, Milcrofton Utility District notified staff that it wished to combine the two bond amounts and reduce the amount. Milcrofton Utility District requests that the improvements be combined into on-site and off-site water improvements with a maintenance bond in the amount of $60,000 for a period of 1 year.
I'm confused, Mike. You said $60,000 for off-site and on-site maintenance bond?
They're requesting one single bond that would cover both the off-site improvements and the on-site
I
improvements.
understood that part.
And that is a maintenance bond for $60,000.
Right. Is there a motion? Motion made and seconded. Prepare to vote. Vote now. Motion carries. Any other business? Anybody want to go home? A motion to adjourn. Good night.